Hi, you guys. So Shamea went live, and right before the reunion, the third part of the reunion aired for Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she posted this 54-second apology to the ladies of the cast, and I was just tickled watching it because, like people were saying in the comments, it wasn't giving sincere, right? It didn't ring sincere to me either. And then when I read the comments, I was tickled because I feel like everybody was feeling the same way, because that's something she could have said directly to these women. She could have called each one of them up personally and apologized and gave them that personal time, right? In her apology. And then some of the stuff she was saying about she didn't want to make people feel less than, or something she was saying. And so it almost felt like she was trying to say something without saying it. She was saying something without really saying what she was saying. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so that was funny. And I get the feeling that Shamea is going to become the new villain to this show, or they're trying to see if they can kind of move her into that, because she's kind of getting into it with a little bit with everybody, and people feeling like she's saying things that are not sincere or not true, or she's spinning them, to make them look a certain way for her. And so, and then the whole thing with Portia, like I said that a long time ago with the whole thing with Candy, that if she was really Portia's best friend, that we would not have been seeing her hanging out with Candy on that show or outside of the show. And so it was clear that there was something already going on between them, even before a Peach on the show. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of that. I still want to see them. I still want to see her back, and I want to see Portia back, and I want to see their mothers on there. I still feel that way. But like Kenya was saying, I don't know what the Pinky Cole and the K. Michelle factor is going to look like. I don't really, at some point, when they keep bringing on the new people, it starts losing. You can't keep up with what all this stuff is supposed to mean. And then everybody got to try to, bring in something. And a lot of these people probably are not going to be able to bring what these producers are hoping that they will come in with. I like Angela and even Kelly. I think we need to see more. Anyway, and honestly, I wish that somebody would interview Britt. I wish somebody would interview Brittany Edie, so we can kind of get like her closing remarks, since she wasn't on the reunion. That's how I feel. To my understanding, she still have her lawsuit, and that's one of the reasons they're not bringing Kenya back. And I'm still lost. I'm lost. That's why I want an interview with Brittany as well, because I'm lost on what all of that's about. If that wasn't really her, then why did y'all let Kenya go over something that she really didn't do? Because if the pictures were not of her, then it wasn't she. And somebody other than somebody had to have been looking at those pictures going, that don't look like Brittany, right? To me, I understand we look different, but when we're a little bit younger, we may look different than when we look now. But at the same time, I feel like when you look at somebody, right? I don't know. All of that don't make sense to me. So I would like to. Hopefully, we'll get an interview with Brittany, since she won't be making any appearances on Bravo. But maybe Carlos King. Well, maybe he won't do it either because of his connection with that whole friend, with all of that. Hopefully she'll do an interview with somebody, even if it's Tasha K, right? I just want to hear what she have to say, and I feel like people want to hear what she have to say. What was her reason for not showing up, right? And we want to hear it from her. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Shamea's apology, about the whole season, about Charles, kind of putting them in their place. And I kind of get what he's saying. Like, don't be running around talking about y'all was hanging out with me like he would be out here hanging out with all these women. Because that's what kind of how it was coming off. And so I do agree with him. about that. Don't say you know me if you don't know me. Just because you're in the same room with me don't mean that we have that type of relationship to where you can pick up the phone and call me, right? Or that I'm like buying drinks for the girls or whatever if you see me at the bar. So I got where he was coming from with that. But let me know what y'all thought about all of it. What Kenya had to say during her live about Cynthia taking some things back. I'm kind of curious to hear more about that situation. And she's saying that that's possibly one of the reasons that she's not going to be back next season. And to be honest, Cynthia shouldn't be back next season. I didn't really think she was adding anything. I feel like I want to see Shamea interact with Angela. I would rather see that, or to see Kim come back. I just feel like people who are trying to keep their real life off the show or keep their stuff off the show, why are you on the show, right? Like, she has this boyfriend or whatever that look like Bootsy Collins. Let's give it Ohio players, Sugarfoot, and let's give it Sly and the Family Stone. But she didn't bring him on the show. She didn't bring him up. And it's like, okay, she could have been bringing that in, because all this fairy godmother giving advice stuff is not working. We know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny, but we need to see some action from something going on from Cynthia if she's going to be on there. Kelly as well. We need more of a story from her as well. I don't like hearing all that dark stuff about people getting divorces and all that. We need to bring some action, some upward action. What else? I think Drew is going to be there. It looked like everybody is still going to be there except for Kenya and Brittany. What do y'all think about this edition of K. Michelle and Peaky Cole? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.